Hey kiddies, it's Triple Feature Tuesday once again, and this week we're looking at my favorite movies of 2014. That's right, it's a new year. I hope everybody had fun on New Year's and had a good December holiday, whatever that might be. As per usual, we're going to look at my favorite movies of the year. This does not mean these are the best movies, these are just my personal favorites. So our menu is going to include Birdman, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Interstellar, with honorable mention to Snowpiercer. Birdman, Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu? Go with Inarritu. Inarritu's experimental redemption story drama starring Michael Keaton as a, not necessarily washed up actor, but not an actor not doing great, who was once in a very, very popular superhero franchise. Just very, very clever film, and very clever technically. The whole thing is designed to look as if it's one continuous shot. There are, of course, cuts hidden everywhere. But the choreography in terms of getting everybody where they need to be, especially the camera at every given moment, and making that look natural and spontaneous is really, really something. On top of the fact that, like, all of the actors, they have to perform it as if they are performing a stage play, which is the central action of the film. Rehearsing and preparing for the performance of a stage play. Everything is sort of going wrong in the movie to great and comedic effect. It's a lot like Alfred Hitchcock's Rope in terms of staging a film as opposed to just, filming a film. And everybody's just fantastic in it. It's interesting looking at the cast because you got a lot of younger stars, people becoming famous kind of now, and people that were, came to their fame about 10 or so years ago, and then another group that came about earlier than that with the youngers. We have like Amy Ryan and Emma Stone, who have become more popular in recent years, and prior to them you have the Edward Norton and Naomi Watts, and then bringing up the rear is the star of the film, Michael Keaton, who, I've always missed him since he's just sort of disappeared after, I want to say the last real thing I saw him in was his cameo in Out of Sight, reprising his role as Ray Nicolette from Jackie Brown, which was one of my favorite character cameos, not only because Michael Keaton, but because Elmore Leonard. Wonderful to see him and to be reminded why he's just great. I mean, everybody will always remember him as Batman, because Batman was one of the greatest things ever put on film, as I discussed a couple weeks ago. Understated, not going over the top, just doing whatever the role needs at any given point. And the range that the character has to go through, Keaton's character, blanking on his name right now, is really something, because he's all over the place mentally. And it's just a hell of a lot of fun, and really, really smart, really, really clever. And despite the fact that the director, Mr. Inarritu, does not like superhero films and think they're horrible, I will still highly recommend Birdman. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy, you are just happiness. Happiness on film. Movie based on a comic. This movie should not exist at all. Guardians of the Galaxy. A Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I am still shocked that such a thing exists, let alone it's really, really good. No performance is bad. Everyone is clever. The writing is clever. It doesn't feel like a comic book movie, which is to say, it doesn't feel like the superhero mold that we've gotten used to, which is great because this is what comics are about. You can do whatever you want in them. They don't always have to be the same exact thing. And James Gunn, director and co-writer, use this to great effect. The movie is really an exploration of 5 very, very damaged characters pretending to be an action movie. Or maybe it's an action movie pretending to be an exploration of 5 very, very damaged characters. Either way, it works. How does this work? Why should this movie work? It shouldn't. It's got a movie. It's got a talking tree that only says one thing. It's got a talking raccoon that says too many things. It's got people on various different levels of the Asperger's scale, and yet everyone is endearing. I love every single character in this movie. I think everybody gets like a great little moment at minimum, at maximum. You get all the stuff with Star-Lord and Drax and Gamora and Nebula and, well, all right, Ronan is a little thin. I will grant you that. It's just, I mean, it's Lee Pace is Ronan the Accuser. You could have done so much more with him, but, you know, we got to get everything ill in one movie. And what a movie. Just bringing color back to sci-fi. Just love it. Guardians of the Galaxy forever and a day. Finally, Interstellar. And this wins because I saw it 3 times in the theater, and each time I was on the verge of tears at the parts where you're supposed to be on the verge of tears. Mainly because of Hans Zimmer's score. He's just, I mean, he's been killing it for the last 5 years, but this one, it doesn't sound like anything else he's ever done, which just makes it all the better. Is it scientifically accurate? Probably not, but that's not really the point. I mean, it's always fun when a sci-fi movie is accurate, but predominantly sci-fi is supposed to explore humanity through ridiculous circumstances. You know, see Guardians of the Galaxy. Interstellar explores the ridiculous to present to us the human, and it comes off really, really well. Matthew McConaughey continuing the reconnaissance, Anne Hathaway, just always wonderful. Michael Caine kind of felt like the same Michael Caine part that he does in every single Chris Nolan movie at this point. Casey Affleck, always a pleasure to see him. What's his name? Wes Bentley. All right, he was there. Love David Gyasi from Cloud Atlas, because I love everybody that was in Cloud Atlas, so it's great to see him. Jessica Chastain, finally starting to grow on me. And, you know, Topher Grace, just for shits and giggles. But, the special effects, the presentation, it was fun to watch it because Christopher Nolan doesn't really like to do CGI that much, and so he's directing a space opera type of movie. It was fun to see him shoot around things, or shoot it not in the way that you'd think a like say Star Wars or Star Trek would go at it, so that he wouldn't have to use CG as much as he would have to. So love the message, love the music, just oh my god, Interstellar. I just want to watch it over and over and over again. Much like all of these movies. Maybe not Birdman over and over again, but I could be convinced. Extra finally, honorable mention. This movie actually came out in 2013, but I didn't see it in theaters. I don't think it was in theaters in America until 2014, but Snowpiercer. I did a whole triple feature on it. Basically, the most Terry Gilliam-looking movie you could have without Terry Gilliam. Everyone was great in it. Just love it. So I'm going to shoehorn Snowpiercer at the end here. So my favorite movies of 2015... Birdman, Guardians of the Galaxy, Interstellar, and also Snowpiercer. Looking forward to 2015 and all the ridiculous movies, like a Bone Tomahawk. Kurt Russell fighting cannibals in the Old West. His name is Bone Tomahawk. Oh my god. And that little Avengers movie, that's probably going to be pretty good. But we'll get to those as they come out, and I will see you guys next week.